Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Excuse me. So I have this video that I want to share with you guys that is by We Are Anonymous. It's a very insightful video, so I'm just going to go ahead and play it, and then I will save commentary until the end because I just don't want to keep stopping this one in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Now I'm just like waiting for it to play.
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are being exploited and looted by an elite. We have created an economical order that only benefits a few, while most of humanity is doomed to live tired, stressful and meaningless lives. Our environment is being destroyed. Our water is polluted and our food poisoned. How can we allow to be so easily enslaved by a few? How is it possible that billions of human beings are exploited by a minority, and nobody seems to care about it? How come we have become so disengaged and so unconcerned towards the problems around us? Why is it that the masses have become so apathetic? Where are the revolutions? Why we don't stand up and face the rulers of our life? Clearly something is going wrong. And in this video I will reveal what is it. The problem is that since the day we are born we are targeted with a variety of mind control techniques that have achieved to create a population of non-thinking, unconcerned human beings. We have become cattle, and in this video, that I hope the viewer will have the patience to see, I will reveal the 9 most used techniques by the elites to enslave our minds and keep the exploited population under control.
Which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process.
One reason why the masses are so calm is because they think they are free. They do not realize they are not. The political system has been set up in a way that makes us believe that we have choice, that we can vote, and decide the fate of our country. But that cannot be further from the truth. The true rulers of our nations are the financial elites who control the banking system. Since long time ago, the elites have created a political system that gives the masses the illusion they are free, while the bankers pull the strings hidden behind the political arena. As Rothschild said once, "Let me issue and control a nation money, and I care not who makes its laws."
The owners of this country are the voters of this country. You're wrong about that. Aren't the owners of this country the voters of this country? No, they're not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is, they are not. I'll tell you, just listen for a minute. Learn a little something. Elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have a choice.
2. We are being constantly entertained. One key to maintain the masses under control is to keep them distracted. You can rob the people, and you can poison them. As long as they are paying attention somewhere else, they will not realize it. The elites will promote and fund any kind of technology or entertainment that will keep the masses distracted and busy staring at a virtual world. They will flood our societies with pornography, video games, and drugs to ensure that the unhappy citizens turn to these distractions when they are unhappy and bored, instead of turning against the elites, the cause of their unhappiness.
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do? People become restive. People are asking questions. People don't like the policies of the emperor. He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. He has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the told what the truth is. So they don't ever get smart enough to learn how to be. So they don't ever question.
Another tool used to keep the people apathetic towards the exploitation is to dumb down the population. The elites don't want a well-informed, well-educated population. That would be too dangerous for the current socio-economical order that benefits the elites. As John Rockefeller said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." They want you to be ignorant, to be stupid. They don't want you to understand how the economy works. They don't want you to think by yourself. What they want is to ensure that you know so little about the world that surrounds you, that you are unable to realize that you are being rooted in front of your eyes. To achieve that goal, they will place you in the educational system, where you will be indoctrinated to become an obedient citizen. By the time you will have finished your education, all your intellectual curiosity will have been killed, all your passion for learning will be gone, and all you will have, it's a deep lack of knowledge about the world that surrounds you.
So don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. That's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass, the school looks good, everybody's happy, the IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil. Got a pencil? Get the fuck in there, it's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do.
4. Another tool they use is brainwashing. They will use the media, the advertisements, the education, the movies, to instill in your mind aspirations, attitudes and behaviors that will turn you into a non-thinking creature. They do not want you to care about the world. They don't want you to be altruistic. They don't want you to read books. What they want is to implant in your mind values, preoccupations and complexes that will turn you into a selfish, materialistic and ignorant creature who will be easily exploited by an elite.
So social messages are promoted through movies and drama, high drama, through the fixation of emotive sequences, emotional sequences, not logical, factual sequences, but pushing points across in an emotional way which register and fix in the mind. So emotional content is very, very important rather than going through an actual discussion or an argument using logic and facts. There's no debate. And when you're being downloaded through fiction, your guard is down, the censor part of your brain is not in action. It isn't saying, yes, I agree with this, I disagree with that, as you would in a debate or a lecture. You're actually in an alpha state being completely downloaded with new ideas.
5. Another weapon they use to mind control the population is through implanting hatred in their minds. The elites don't want a united population. That would be too dangerous for the economical order. They need the masses to be divided and to be confronted with each other. We live under an economical system that is unfair for the majority of the population. Unhappiness and discontent will be rampant among the citizens, and the elites don't want you to turn against them. They don't want you to realize that your unhappiness stems from the unfair economical system they have created, and to achieve that, they will bombard you with propaganda and lies to persuade you that the real problems you experience come from someone else. A common scapegoat blamed by the elites tend to be the immigrants. We can see now in US or in United Kingdom how the immigrants have been the main topic of the political debates, when the real reason of the hardships we are going through are the greediness of the bankers.
Now, to balance the scale, I'd like to talk about some things that bring us together. Things that point out our similarities instead of our differences. Because that's all you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing happens to work. Do you know anything different? That's what we're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality. Anything you do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
6. Another tool used by the elites will be fear and terror. Sometimes the elites require the masses to be scared. Sometimes the establishment need to wage imperialistic wars, or need to curtail your rights to keep the masses subjugated, and to achieve that, they will put you in such a state of fear that you will eventually allow your government to wage a war or to curtail your rights, so that you can feel safe again. To scare the citizens, the elites use mainly two methods: propaganda and false flag terror attacks against their own population. 9/11 is one of the many examples of terrorist attacks against the own population orchestrated by the elites to terrorize the masses and manipulate their minds. A clear example of propaganda to scare the ignorant masses was that Iraq, a poor country devastated by 1 decade of U.S. bombings, had weapons of mass destruction.
Ballistic missiles, chemical and biological weapons, chemical and biological attacks, nuclear holy warriors, nuclear program, nuclear weapons, nuclear weapon, nuclear technology, biological, chemical, or a nuclear weapon. Thanks for coming.
7. Another way to keep the masses subjugated is to make us believe in a fake reality. The history has been twisted. The news are giving us a biased view of the world. The music industry is brainwashing us with stupid messages. The documentaries are lying at us. The elite controls all we see and all we watch. They are cleverly manipulating our worldview to turn us into controllable and ignorant beings. To keep the masses subjugated is indispensable to make them live in an illusory world. Otherwise, they could find out their condition of slaves. The elites need to create a fake reality to give them the illusion they are free.
We'll tell you any shit we want to say. We did illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do. Whatever the tube tells you. You dress like a tube. You eat like a tube. You raise your children like a tube. You even think like a tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
8. Another tool used to keep the masses in a deep state of ignorance is the censorship. The enlightened people are killed. The free-thinking journalists are silenced. The whistleblowers incarcerated. And the teachers who speak the truth are fired. That's the modern and liberal societies where most of the masses think they live. Through censorship in the media industry and in the educational system, the elites can prevent the masses from waking up and realize that they are living in a prison. We are basically free-range slaves.
Well, I've been a journalist for about 25 years, and I was educated to lie, to betray, and not to tell the truth to the public. But seeing right now, within the last months, how far, how the German and American media tries to bring war to the people in Europe, to bring war to Russia. This is a point of no return, and I'm going to stand up and say it is not right what I have done in the past to manipulate people, to make propaganda against Russia, and it is not right what my colleagues do and have done in the past, because they are bribed to betray the people, not only in Germany, all over Europe.
9. Another tool to control the masses is through keeping the citizens busy since the first day they can start thinking by themselves. A human being with free time poses a threat for the system. Free time would allow individuals to think, to develop passions, to wake up spiritually. That's too dangerous for the current socio-economical order. If the elites want to exploit the masses, they need to kill the individual. They cannot allow you to develop your own personality and think by yourself. To control the population, it's a must to keep the citizens busy with no free time. Then, they will become robots. They will not know themselves. They will not know who they are or what they like. Have you ever wondered why so many people is lost? Why nobody seems to know what to do with their lives? If you turn the people into zombies, who don't know who they are, who do not have values, then you can easily exploit them.
Well, if you want the truth, go to God. Go to your guru. Go to yourself. Because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. Man, you're never going to get any truth from us.
As we have seen, if the masses have become so apathetic towards the misery, the poverty and the destruction around them. It's because there are very powerful individuals and institutions who are using a wide variety of techniques to control what we see, what we learn, and what we think, in order to control our minds and create a population of submissive, apathetic creatures who can be easily exploitable.
Scientific dictatorship understands what makes human beings tick. They understand our psychology. They've studied it, and they're using it against us. But the minute the public awakens to the fact that there is an agenda to manipulate them, and the second the public realizes that they are being conditioned or controlled, the establishment begins to lose that edge they got over people. So all I ask viewers to do is to think for themselves.
We have become cattle. The earth has become a farm. Now my question is, are you a cattle or are you a human being? I hope this video has somehow helped the viewer to become a little bit more awake. We are anonymous. We are a legion. We do not forget. Expect us.
Turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off.
So, yeah, that was very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and stop that share. So, in the beginning, he says, you know, where are the revolutions? We don't have anymore. We see all of this stuff going on. We see these Caucasoid terrorists killing our children. We see people like, for some reason, I can only remember his last name, Kaepernick, the NFL player. We see that he, you know, he's standing alone right now. We have all of these black NFL players that are doing nothing to stand behind him. And it's because of this notion that black people can entertain Caucasoids. They can entertain, but don't speak up. Don't ask other people to think and use their brain and see what's going on. Your job is to simply entertain. They have these black people that are in an entertainment business. We wonder why, you know, Oprah Winfrey and Jay-Z and, you know, these really high profile black individuals are not helping, because they themselves could make extreme change if they chose to. Just if you just took 5 of them, or just the 3 that I mentioned, there could be extreme change in a positive direction for the black community. But you have to realize, when these black people are in the spotlight and you're an entertainer. That's what they're told. You're an entertainer. That is it. You're not like the other those other black people are not like you. You're better. You're an elite. You're supreme as a black person. You're the exception to the rule of the, you know, bad, negative, thug, drug infested, criminal black person. You're not them, so why are you going to try to help them? So there's a form of manipulation right there. And then he talks about this illusion of freedom. And I think that's where black people in particular are very, very confused of this illusion of freedom. For some reason, when we're taught that Abraham Lincoln came and freed, you know, the slaves, and now we're all free because of this one Caucasoid man, even though he was a terrorist. But we're free now, so, you know, everything is great. And the reality is, we're not free. And I wish people would educate themselves even on that stance of the Emancipation and Proclamation, and realize that the same day that was signed into law, so was the criminalization of black people. So they were funneled right from the plantations into the prison systems. And as of today, there are black men on cotton fields picking cotton. So you're not free. You're the exact same place that you were before that illusion of freedom was signed. So if we stop looking at what we're being told, okay, we're only focused on what we are being told. We're told that, you know, there's extreme violence in Chicago. We're told that that's, you know, the black on black crime. We're told that, you know, we're free and that everything is equal. But none of this is reality. None of this is what we're actually living. None of this, you know, with Chicago isn't even on the top 10 list of dangerous places to be. And yet we're always told about these things. And you have to realize that mainstream media is there to serve a purpose. And that purpose is to make you follow a certain belief system, okay? And that belief system is based on white supremacy. And you have to believe, I mean, you have to realize that. There are, you know, the elites and that are manipulating, but white supremacy is what spreads all of this. It's what maintains this system where there's, you know, the Caucasoid elite, because that's who's the elite, or they're just other Caucasoid terrorists. But you have to realize that the mainstream, everyday white supremacy is what is the system that is destroying everybody involved, whether you are white, black, Asian. That system is destroying everyone. And so instead of us looking around and seeing, okay, what is really going on, we're instead distracted by, oh, that person's gay, oh, these immigrants. Immigrants have nothing to do with our day-to-day life. It doesn't determine where our job is, where we live, whether we get shot by a terrorist, police when we get pulled over. And none of that is really actually affecting us, but it's this distraction so that we don't see what the reality is. We're just constantly focused on these little stupid things that don't matter. We end up not, like, I feel like we don't stand for anything. Like, as a black community, we live this individualistic life, and we want to feel like, oh, I'm just an individual, I'm not in the black community, I'm not part of those people, you know, those kids that got shot over there has nothing to do with me. But that's not reality. Reality is you are a collective. You are, whether you want to be or not. And that's a good thing. It is a good thing to be part of a community and to be a collective. If someone's doing something to a black person, that affects me personally as a person. And you can say that it doesn't affect you, but you need to realize that every time a terrorist Caucasoid kills a black person and gets away with it, it sets a precedent. So it's only a matter of time before it touches you personally. Okay, so it puts your life in danger regardless of whether you want to believe it or not, because that's how it works. When you set precedents, when you show this other group of Caucasoid terrorists that they can get away with killing one black person, they're not going to jail, all the other ones are like, oh, okay, so I can do this and I can do this because I'm going to get away with it. That's just like if you watch the news on a daily basis and someone's getting away with robbing a bank and stealing, you know, $30 million, and that person gets arrested, but he doesn't get prosecuted and he gets to keep his $30 million. What do you think is going to start happening? Do you think everybody else is going to say, oh, well, no, that's just him? But then the next day you see the exact same thing happen again, and the next day the exact same thing happen again. You tell me, are you not going to think, oh, wow, you know, I could go rob this bank up the street right here and get $30 million, and I'm not going to go to prison. I'm going to get to keep my money. Everybody's going to start doing that because they set a precedent. That's what you guys need to realize. It's not about that one individual. It's about setting a precedent to show other Caucasoid terrorists that it's okay to kill Black people. It's okay to kill Black children because you'll just get away with it. And we need to stop setting precedents like that. It is very, very dangerous. Okay? We are not individuals. We are a collective, whether you want to believe it or not. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you're sitting there thinking, oh, you know, I got $80,000. I'm making $80,000 a year, and I live in, you know, upper middle class. I live around a bunch of Caucasoids. I'm not like those thugs. Those are thugs. Those are drug dealers. They were doing something wrong. I'm not part of that system. You're in a delusion. You're just in a delusion because the only person that is seeing you as an individual that is not part of the Black collective is yourself. And that is a delusion that you need to get yourself out of. Okay, we are a collective and we need to start working as a collective. We really, really do. And we need to start setting strong precedents that say you cannot kill us. You cannot subjugate us. You cannot continue to harass and terrorize us. We need to start doing that. And until we set a strong and firm precedent, this is going to continue to happen, and it's going to touch you. It's going to get to you, regardless of whether you think that you're rich or you live in a nice neighborhood. All you have to do is make the wrong turn in front of the wrong cop, and then it's you. Okay? That's all it takes. And then we have this music industry that they talk about that is toxic, that is poison to the minds of Black community. You have Drake sitting there talking about how he has this $30 million mortgages. That's not beneficial to the Black community. So then you got other, you know, Black kids thinking, oh, $30 million mortgages, that's good. That means I'm rich. No, that means you are $30 million in the debt, in a hole. That means you are like worse off than just being poor because now you owe $30 million. Like the stuff that they're teaching our children, that they're programming their minds through this music, they know what they're doing. Okay, they know psychology. They know how the brain works. They know this. That's why they start with your children. You have to put your children in school at 6. Okay, they don't have to go to kindergarten, but by 6 years old, they have to be indoctrinated and being programmed. Okay, that is the law. So we need to realize that and combat that. We need to talk to our children. We need to read books to them. We need to be very involved in what they are learning so that we can combat all the lies. And that's why I make it a point to talk to my son, to read over his schoolwork, to say, what are you guys talking about in school right now? Right now, they're talking about, you know, the earth and the core, the center of the earth. And it's like, he needs to know that all of that is someone's theory. They're not in the center of the earth. They have no idea what's in the center of the earth. They just sit there and pump your kids full of stupid lies that are meaningless. In today's society, does it really matter what's in the core of the earth while they're killing Black people on the streets? You're killing our kids, but let's teach our kids about the core of the earth. No, right now it seems like they need to learn how to stay alive, how to stay away from terrorist police. That's what it seems like is what they should be learning. So we have to stop leaving it up to these Caucasoid women teachers, because that's usually who's there teaching them. They're usually teaching these kids white supremacy. You need to realize that with their books, with their little tests, you need to go over every little thing that your kid is reading and being taught, because usually there's a lot of subliminal messaging in that teaching, and a lot of indoctrination and a lot of brainwashing. and it's just twisted into all the other stuff. So the kids aren't really noticing it because it's not the main topic, but it's in there and they're learning it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is by Anonymous, and they have a lot of good videos on here. So I hope he doesn't get upset that I played this video. I definitely hope I can't get another copyright strike. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask him and make sure, but obviously I'm using this under the fair use section of the copyright thing, whatever. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot to think about. It really is. And I don't want you guys to get confused on the fact that everyday Caucasoid terrorists that are amongst us, that we you know, work with, or that we, you know, even go to church with or do PTA with. Okay, they need to be held accountable just like the elite, because if they weren't who they are, then the system wouldn't work. The elite can only use us in the form that we allow them to. Okay, and there's this deep ingrained sinister devil-minded thing that goes on with the Caucasoids. So it doesn't matter if they're poor, if they're rich. It's what we see every day. And yes, we are at war with them, because we can't just sit here and say, well, oh, it's just the elite, they're the problem, so let's just ignore this mainstream everyday Caucasoid terrorism that is going on. We cannot allow that. We can't. Okay. Yes, there is an elite that are controlling everything, but it's full circle. It's everybody. It's everyone's responsibility. All these terrorist Caucasoids are responsible for their actions, every one of them, individually and as a group. Okay, so we can't step away from that and focus only on the elite, because it is it's a system. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know what you guys think. Honestly, let me know what you guys think about this video. Touched on a lot of different aspects of what's going on, and that's why I played it, because I'm constantly telling you guys that this is it's a lot of different things. It's not just one issue. It's not just one you know, it's not just terrorist cops. It's not just them, and it's not just bad teachers. It's not just, you know, the KKK and the skinheads. It's a lot of things. It's a lot, and that it's very overwhelming. Like for me, like right now, I can feel like my throat is starting to get closed up when I think about the immense like psychological warfare that we're in, and it's so deep. It's so deep, and I like this video because it touched on a lot of different things. So I would suggest you guys watch this again, and I'm gonna leave the link to his videos in the description box, and I would suggest you guys check out some, but realize what's going on, and realize that this constant terrorist attacks on the Black community are going to continue until we set a precedent that it's not allowed anymore. And we haven't done that. And until we do, they're just gonna keep stepping it up and stepping it up, because that's just how it works. Okay, that's how it works. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video.